Today we're going to discuss just a few things on the removal of shock absorbers on a Class 8 tractor. If you look at this particular application, as is most applications for heavy duty, you'll see that the shock is in a location that for most technicians it's very easy to get access to, either with the tire still mounted or if there's other work that needs to be done with the tires removed. What we're finding out from more and more technicians that we talk to, it's not the challenge in getting to the shock, it's getting that shock off the vehicle, because most times the shock is very accessible. Most mechanics realize, and what they do first when they have a job where they're going to take a shock off, is they get out a cutting torch. Because what they inevitably find out is that mounting bolt that's used to mount the shock to the vehicle gets seized into the mounting sleeve on the shock. What we've done is introduced a new mounting sleeve configuration with a new special coating that's designed to help eliminate the incidence of mounting bolts seizing to that sleeve, and therefore allowing the technician to get rid of that cutting torch and getting back to more traditional tools. What that will result in is a great reduction in time it takes to take a shock off of a vehicle. Even if we're talking only 5 to 10 minutes per corner, as you do more and more corners on that vehicle, it does add up. I'd like to discuss now a certain application, and it's the Freightliner Fas Suspension. If you look at the shock absorber in the lower mounting configuration, you'll see that there's a large offset on this mounting sleeve. It's critical that when a technician goes to replace the shock absorber, that this larger offset is put inboard on the suspension. If you was to reverse that and have this placed outboard, it would place unusually high side loads on the shock absorber. Two important points that I wanted to discuss have to do with the mounting kits that are used on shocks that incorporate a stud mount. The first point is the proper way to assemble these cushions and retainers, in particular these retainers. As you see here, the retainers are assembled in the proper orientation. To reverse that would be improper. They're always facing in this direction. The second point has to do with how much do you torque down this nut. A good rule of thumb is you torque this nut down until the diameter of these cushions meet this retainer and they do not bulge out beyond that diameter. On shocks that use I-rings for their end mounts and where cushions are also incorporated, the retainers that actually capture those cushions no longer are facing inboard, but they're actually facing outboard. That's the proper way to assemble those.